Yo, what's up YouTube? It's your boy Vegabomber and welcome to Vegabomber Land. And this time, tonight, this video is going to be about a recent movie that I've seen, and that movie is Race, the story of Jesse Owens. So, let's get into it, shall we? Well, the movie, to me, I thought, was a very good and entertaining movie. Probably not quite as good as Selma, for sure, but definitely just as important, and this movie definitely had the feels. So this movie is starring Stephen James as Jesse Owens, Jason Sudeikis as Larry, his coach when he was at Ohio State, and Jeremy Irons, who plays Avery Bundage, I think, and he was a guy that went over and kind of negotiated with the athletic community to have the games, for the Americans to still go to the games. He was a big advocate for the Americans not to pull out of the games because of all the Nazism and Hitler being all in full power. This was the early 30s, by the way. So, as it turns out, this movie, I thought, was a great retelling. Now, there were some pros about this film and maybe a con or two, but let's talk about the pros, shall we? Because I like to keep it positive, yo. So we'll start with the positive first. First off, I'd like to say I love the fact that they didn't just make Jesse like this godlike figure that never made mistakes or fell down or lost. In this film, you do get to see areas in his life where he lost. Without spoiling anything, I will say that just the dalliance that he had, the affair that he had with this woman when he was in California, yeah, I'm glad that they didn't keep that out just to try to make it look like he was just always this great family man. He did have a dalliance or two, or at least one or two, or who knows how many. So that was definitely in there. And I like the fact that they showed the relationship between Larry, or in this case played by Jason Sudeikis, and usually a comedic actor, but he did pretty good here playing the dramatic role. In fact, I kept thinking of Dragnet. It made me think of the way he acted was kind of like the way, what was his name, Dan Aykroyd acted in Dragnet, because it's that same kind of quick talking, just the facts, man. Kind of had that same deal. But at any rate, I thought the relationship, between Jesse Owens and Larry was played out really well. You could tell that they were just good friends too. They had respect for each other, and I like it when you can see two guys who seem to be on opposite ends of the spectrum work together. That worked out here. It was a lot like in 42, where Jackie Robinson and then of course the owner of the team, him played by Harrison Ford, and I forget his name right now, how they bonded. Well, you definitely had that here, and I thought that was great. I thought that, I guess another pro with this film would be that the feels were there. Like, you felt his pain. I mean, Jesse Owens wasn't a trouble starter. That's not what he was, and yet he took everything in stride. He had such great persistence about himself to get things done. He wasn't arrogant about it at all. And so I think that's a good, strong male character. And by the way, we still need good, strong male characters. Just because there's a lot of male characters doesn't mean that they're all strong. And I think Jesse Owens definitely stood for that, and definitely was a good man. Somebody you could definitely build your life after. I mean, 4 gold medals in the U.S. 4 gold medals in the 1936 Olympic medals. Nobody had done that at that time until 1984, when you had a guy named Carl Lewis did it here in Los Angeles, and that's winning those 4 events. And I believe they were the long jump, the 100 meters, the 200 meters, and the 400-yard relay. So the 400-meter relay. So I don't know. It was very good. Now the cons of this movie. Well, I don't know. A lot of people said that it could have been deeper. That's kind of what I heard. I don't know. Maybe it could have given you that, but I think this movie did what it was supposed to do. It told a great story. I feel like it was pretty accurate. His daughters went on record and said that it was pretty accurate, at least from the family perspective. I mean, the historical parts, you always get people who see history differently, and they could argue this or that and whatnot. And it's kind of tough to say. But at least from his daughters, and he had 3 daughters, by the way, they said that it was pretty accurate, at least the way they portrayed the family and everything else. And so I got to imagine, why would they lie? There's really no reason to lie about it, So at any rate, I think it's a good film. So what's my rating of this film? Well, here in Vegabomber Land, we have a pass or fail situation here, right? There's no middle ground. I'm going to tell you whether this movie is worth you spending your hard-earned bucks on it, or whether you should just wait on DVD. And the way I do that is with this rating system right here. If the movie's good, I say that the movie is blowing up. If the movie sucks, like you should save your money and not go see it, or maybe wait till VOD, I will detonate it. I will blow the movie up. I know. It's the Vegabomber thing, right? And I will say that Race, the movie starring Stephen James, who did a great job acting, and also Jason Sudeikis, who also did a great job playing in a serious role, and Jeremy Irons too. I thought he was very good. His speeches that he gave for why athletes compete. I'm going to say, with all of that, this movie is definitely blowing up. Yes, this movie is worth your time. If you don't get to see it in the theaters, if it gets out of the theaters before you get the chance, make sure that once it hits VOD, video on demand, that you get a chance to check it out. This film is good. Soma was better, but this film is still worth watching. Anyway, it's your boy, Vegabomber, and I'm out. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta give a couple shout outs. I want to give a shout out to my boy, Craze Creighton, for his videos on Yo Black Culture. He's got some funny trivia things that you guys should check out. He's just, I don't know, he's my man. He's funny. I appreciate him. And also a shout out to Prim, who's always been there following and checking this out. I hope you get a chance to check out Race, Prim. That movie was definitely good. Now, I'm out of here. Yeah. Home run. Knocked out the park. Oh yeah.